Hi, it's Charlie giving you Friday's live trading. I hope you're very well. It's just coming up to 8 a.m. and I'm just been looking through the charts with the guys in the trading room here, and I'm not seeing anything too much at the moment. It could be a slow morning, but we've got the retail sales out in the US at 1:30 today, so I'm not in too much of a hurry to have to trade if there's nothing really sweet setting up. It's been a bit of a funny week on the intraday charts this week. They've been a bit sloppy on a lot of days, and then they sort themselves out at some time or other. So it could be a bit of a slow one this morning, but we'll keep on looking at this, and if I find anything, we'll get a trade off. If not, I'll just be waiting for retail sales for later on. So I'll press pause for now. Right, just back, and I've got a little trade on for the euro dollar here, so we're going to give this a shot. Get some units in here. I'm a bit late to the party, so I'll get 3 units in, and let's have a look here. See if I can get a couple more in on the pullback. I should have been in down here a bit lower, so I'm going to have to be putting a stop of around about 11 points in, I think, something like that. So I'll have a look at that in a second. Just bear with me. And so I've got 3 lots in long euro dollar on the hourly chart. It's a bit of a bull flag on the hourly chart, and we've got my hourly 21 still facing upwards. We've got a daily pivot just a bit above us, up at 82. And so I'm looking at that. Got some decent momentum above us on the 4-hourly time frame. So some good longer term momentum. So I've got 3 lots in at the moment. I don't want to necessarily go too heavy here this morning necessarily, just because of we've got a retail sales out later. So let me just have a look at this. I'll press pause and come back to this. Okay, it's coming down. So let's bring up the account. So that's because it's close to getting stopped. One thing I forgot to mention was I'm in a couple of trades. One on the Aussie dollar, which is a long position from yesterday, and I'm in an open long position on the euro dollar actually from yesterday. But here's the 3 positions that I've gone in. I think I'm about to get stopped out. Like I said, I just put those 3 in. Oops, and let's try and keep an eye on the chart as well. So I've got those 3 positions in. And it's come straight down. But if it comes back up into the bands, I will then look to add to the position. So there's a potential to add to it. So, but only if it comes back up into the bands and closes back inside. So at the moment, having a down move here, and I could get stopped out very quickly. I've kept it fairly light, and so we'll just see on that one. The Aussie dollar, it's a position that we put on yesterday in the afternoon in the trading room, wasn't it? I think it was yesterday. And the same with the euro dollar, both yesterday afternoon we put those in. And actually the euro was up about 100 pips. Oh, it's a tiny position. It's a quarter lot. So it's very highly speculative ahead of the news. So we just put it in because we knew that it didn't really matter because it's only a quarter a lot, but then it ran 100 pips. Shame it wasn't, or nearly 100 pips, 90 pips I think it was. Shame we didn't put a big position in, but it was more speculative, so we're just leaving that alone. A bit similar with the Aussie dollar, just leaving it alone. The risks are that the euro comes down later today on the retail sales, and probably the Aussie as well. So the risks are they get stopped out, those 2 positions, but they won't lose a lot because they're only small positions. I gave them a try yesterday. So that's where we are at the moment. Here's the 3 positions. The stops are at 67, which means I'd get stopped out about 66. It needs to go below 67 in order for me to get stopped out. So the euro's just having had a little bit of a bounce down, or sorry, a push down there. It may still stop me. It's sitting on some support at the moment. It may stop me out. I'll press pause for now and we'll just see. I've just, one of the guys in the trade room's just told me my stops are wrong, and he's absolutely right. Look, see? Schoolboy error, 10667. We're supposed to be at 10767. So, oh dear, 0767. We got to get those in then. Made a mistake there this morning. 0767. See how easy it is to make mistakes? That could be like my Friday morning confession. We do confessions in the trading room on a Friday morning, and they've got a live one there that I made a trading error, an execution or an error. If I hadn't have spotted that, I'd have been wondering why it hadn't stopped me out if it had gone down. So anyway, right, I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back. I'm going to put a couple more units in here because I know I'm very close to my stop, but I haven't done it yet. For the sake of 3 or 4 pips on the extra couple of units, might as well do it. So let's put 2 more units in here, guys. So for me anyway. So I'm up to 5 lots now. I'll take it to 5 lots. It's not the prettiest of trades by any means, but just because of the risk is so low, I'll just put a couple more units in there. So I'm just getting the stop sorted out. 07. And 07. Right, so let's bring up the account, and so it's at high risk of getting stopped here because of the how close we are to my stops. But I've put those extra couple of units in. We've put all the stops at the same level, 07.67, and so we'll just see if we're going to get that bounce come in. And if the bounce kicks in, then at 82 we've got the 8 AM pivot, which is untested at the moment. So I would take these back end off at 82 if it can get up to 82. So that when I say the back end, that's these 2 units I've just put in. But the reason I'm going through this with the guys in the trading room. The reason for the buying this morning is that we've done a nice pullback here on the hourly charts. We've come into some support zones, and we're just sort of hovering around into those lower bounds on the 5-minute charts. But on the hourly charts, it looks to me I've got some signs kicking in on the momentum on the higher time frames that we've got some support here, that we should be due some sort of bounce, some sort of tradable bounce. Now, I don't know if we go lower first before it bounces, because it could want to come down to this hourly 50. In which case, fine. Oh, it looks like it's about to come down now. So let's take it back to the 5-minute chart. But if it was going to do that, then if it's going to do that, then fine. But it just looks like there might be some sort of tradable bounce in there. But for the risk involved here this morning, I've given it a go. It's a low risk, and I think I've just been stopped. Yes, I have. So it didn't work. There you go. So I've just been stopped out on all those positions. So I've lost about £280, nearly £300 on that position actually. And it could just be that I've just got nicked. It could well be this morning that I've just got nicked. But if that's the case, so be it. I want to keep the powder fairly dry for this afternoon. So if I've just got nicked, it'll be a real pain. We'll have a look at it. If it does look like I've got nicked, then it's possible that I go in again. But what I would do is then just put 2 units in and downsize the position. So you have a loss. When you go in with a downsized position, not interested in trying to totally make back all the money and everything else, just put a downsized position in, make some money out of that downsized position, but not risking too much just in case I'm wrong again. So I'll press pause for now because the time's ticking. Just back, looks like I might get another entry on the euro dollar, like I said, with just 2 units this time. So we'll see if we're going to close inside the bands here, and then I'll just put a stop down below. 2 units in, and we'll just see if it can have a little bit of a run up to that 82 level. So we're getting close, so we have got just over a minute to go, so we'll see how it's going to close. Okay, so we've got 20 seconds to go. Let's see if we're going to get this close inside the bands. If we are, I'm going to go in with 2 lots, so I'm minimizing my risk. If I get stopped again, they're all tight stops. I'm not losing too much here this morning. They're all tight stops, but let's see if I'm going to get these units in. So we're about there, so it looks like we're going to be okay. Let's get 1 unit in here, and I've gone long with 1 unit. Let's see if we can get a second unit in. Okay, I've had to pay up here, so the stops are going to be down at around about 64 by looks of things. So I'm going to quickly get those in and then we're just going to see what happens. If I get stopped out on these 2, then it's all over. 107. 07. So for the guys in the trading room, you're probably not wanting to follow me anyway, because of my lost there already. So I put my stop in at 60. Well, it's effectively at 63, so I put it in just below the low. So now it's a case of just seeing if this can hold. Like I said, it's just 2 units in there now, so downsize the position. If it does go up, great, I make a little bit on that. If it comes down, I get stopped out. It's not compounding the losses to a great extent. It's not like going in again with 5 or 6 lots or 4 lots or whatever. So you downsize your position. If you've had a loss, you downsize. Then if it does work out for you, you make some money, and and mitigate the prior losses to an extent, but you're not necessarily trying to oh, I've got to make back the losses and get myself back into profitability. You just the trade is trying. It's not I've downgraded the trade anyway. That's why I went in with the smaller unit sizes earlier anyway, and just because of the stops were so tight, I could afford to end up putting those extra units in. So we'll just see now whether looks like I've overpaid on that candle, and whether it's going to come straight back down and get me or not. Might be just doing a retest of the lower band, which sometimes happens, and then it starts to hold again. So we'll see. But if not, then that's it. It's game over for me this morning until after lunch. Okay, so I have been stopped out on that one. So another loss. Or second loss. So that's where the account's at. It's at minus 360 now. Obviously, I've still got this open position. So if this open position on the euro was to get stopped out, which was from yesterday, even though it's only very small, I think the stop. Where's the stop? The entry was at 33. The stop's at 95. I'll check about that stop. That stop may need to be moved anyway, moved up. So it's still going to be, a 400 odd pound loss on that one for now. But obviously I'm trying to save my ammo back for this afternoon. So I'll press pause for now, guys. Right, it's now 11 o'clock, and as we can see, the euro dollar has come up all this way, and it's very close to that original target at 82. Sometimes you just have to accept that the time that you went in, which was over here whenever it was the wrong time. And I'm sure I'll get a load of emails from people saying, "Oh, Charlie, if you'd have had a 20 pip stop, your stops are too tight, and you would have stayed in the trade." Yeah, that's true, but my stops are there for a reason, that I don't then take a much larger loss on an average type of setup. So, but anyway, nevertheless, the analysis overall has turned out to be okay, and so the euro has come up. So it's one of those things, you just accept losses. What I always try to impose on people is don't worry about having losses. It doesn't matter if you get stopped out and a market comes back up for you. You made a decision at that point, and your analysis was saying you've got to have a stop at a certain level. Accept it, get stopped out, move on. On a different day, and you've seen me do this many times before on these Friday videos, I might get stopped out and say nothing's changed, I'm going to go in again. I did that a little bit here earlier on, but then I had the second attempt, it didn't work out, that was it. So it has come down. It did come down to further support down here, which was around about the hourly 50, but no, I couldn't justify giving it another shot, so I've left it alone. I wanted to keep my powder dry for this afternoon. But anyway, it's still nice to see that it has come up. It's always good to see your analysis coming back for you. So we'll carry on watching this back at 1:30. Okay, just back. The Euro's had a really big bounce here in this mid-morning time. I've not been in on it. We've not been in on it. It was mid-morning. I wasn't interested. I'd had my shots this morning. It has come up. The analysis overall was right, but anyway, like I said. But I'm in some of these positions that I'm in from yesterday, so I'm actually going to move the stops up on them a bit now. So the euro dollar position that was still in, that stop's going to be moved up to break even now. So 07.32. And the Aussie dollar, I'm going to get that at least to break even at 94 now. So because they're running quite well. So overall, my positions are profitable for the day, but I still see the potential for these to completely roll over those other positions. So I think they've moved up so much now that I don't need to have my stops right down now. I might as well have those stops. In fact, I mean the euro dollar, realistically, I could have the stop up at 40 now. But anyway, I might move it up a little bit more in a bit, but ahead of the news. But it's only 11:35 AM at the moment, so we'll carry on watching and see how this is going to react as we get closer towards the news, and I'll catch up then. Looks like it's going to be a long video today. Just back, it's 1:10, so we're getting closer towards the news. We can see the euro's given back a lot of those gains that it made earlier on, so this euro could still ultimately roll over here this afternoon. I think it's got that good chance of a breakdown, and so a good chance that this could roll and then really start to push into this zone. So I will be looking at the euro, but I may well be trading the dollar CAD on the long side, dollar yen, my apologies, on the long side. As the euro breaks down, I might be trading this dollar yen for an upside push, but also there's what's just starting to come into contention is actually the pound versus the dollar. I've just spotted that it's just starting to go negative on my momentum indicators across the board, and just as we're only 20 minutes away from the news. So if it starts to plunge, then that'll all be lining up as well. So there's potential bit of a move for cable as well. So it's going to be a bit of a smorgasbord and of a case of take your pick. And I'm going to be having to have a look at all of them and make up my minds as to which ones to go for. So that's a little bit of a breakdown as to where we are and what I'm looking for. So pound's not done a lot all day, as you can see. It's just having a little move down at the moment, but I'll be keeping my eye on that one as well. But so I'm looking at probably the dollar yen on the long side if it carries on breaking up, and or maybe even the dollar CAD on the long side, maybe. The euro dollar on the short side, if it does come down, I'll have a look at that one, but I've got to see which chart has got everything lined up the best. So I'll press pause for now. Right, so we've got just under a minute to go, and it really could be a combination. I don't know which market I'm going to be trading yet. If the dollar sells off, it could well be that I'm trading the Aussie dollar on the long side. If the dollar strengthens, I could be trading the euro here on the short side, or even the pound dollar on the short side. I'm watching the pound off screen. So it really does depend on obviously what happens on the news. We've got 20 seconds to go, so let's just watch this and see which way we're going to react, and then we'll take it from there. So we have got about 10 seconds or so to go, and so we'll see what happens. Looks like the euro is going to come down, which means the yen will probably be going up. We shall see. Spreads have widened. Let's see what's going to happen here. Up. Okay, the other way then. Right, so it looks like I need to get onto the Aussie dollar. Looks like I'm going to need to get onto the Aussie dollar. So it looks that way. Euro's coming up, Aussie dollar's coming up. I'm probably going to want to be getting onto the Aussie dollar. So let's get this changed. As I told you, it'll all be switching. So yep, yen's coming off. So I want to be Aussie dollar. I'm just trying to change my charts around quickly. And hopefully this is going to be the right move. I'm just waiting for my charts off screen to load up. Now they don't want to load, so let's just have to reboot on those. Typical, they don't want to load right now. But okay, let's get a unit in. Long Aussie dollar. So long Aussie dollar with one unit, and I'm going to see if I can get some more in. So I'm just waiting for my e-signal charts to to kick in. So I've got 1 unit long Aussie dollar. So it really looked like the euro is going to come down there, but we've had a change of heart. So I'm just going to see what the actual figures came in at. They're not showing as yet. Let's have a look here. I haven't got a live feed here at the moment. Okay, so retail sales came in at 0.2. Expectations were for 0.3, 0.4. So, and the PPI is coming at minus 0.4 as opposed to expectations of 0.2 or so. So they're coming under subpar. But look, I've gone long Aussie dollar, but look, it's already pulling off a little bit here. So got to be a little bit careful. I'm just going to get my stop in place. So, but I might well be adding to this position yet and going in more, but I want to see it hold up. So 71. I'll put the stop down at 71.40 at the moment. I'm just doing that off screen, so we'll see. But I think I'm going to want to be on the long side. It's got a mishmash of momentum, I must admit, on the Aussie. But we had that initial push up. I'm not even looking at the euro dollar. I think euro's had a bit of a push up, but I think they've settled already, so that's not great, is it? So anyway, let's have a quick look at the euro dollar whilst they seem to have settled. Okay, yeah, the euro's coming up a bit, but it's got more work to do than the Aussie, so that's why I was more interested in if market was to come up, then the Aussie seemed to be the better one of the two. So okay, let's get another unit in. So 2 units long now on Aussie dollar. So I've got the second one in at 52. First one was in at 56. Second one in at 52. And let's put the stops in place down at 71.40. So I've got those 2 units in on the Aussie dollar, and hopefully I've put the stop just basically at the low of this candle, and I want to see if we can push on through. And so it seems to have slowed for the moment, and cable's had a great run up. Cable's doing better than Aussie, so but I'm just going to see if the Aussie can push on through. So I'll press pause for a second. So far it looks like I've picked slightly the wrong one. Aussie's just sitting here. Let's go and have a look at cable, because cable has flown. Look at that. So cable is the better one. I've missed out on cable because I've been talking about the Aussie dollar to traders in the trading room all morning. I'm out of the trading room now, and that if price started moving up, then it would be the Aussie that I'd want to be on. And look at this, and it's the reason I wanted to be on Aussie was because the Aussie has got some good targets upside, breakout of a trend line potential, but it seems to now be struggling with that trend line, and yet the pounds had a great run there. So I'll keep on watching the pound. It might offer an opportunity, but for now I'm in this Aussie, which I think I'm still in it. Let's have a look. No, I'm about to get stopped. Oh, have I been stopped? I must be about to get stopped. Yeah, about to get stopped here on Aussie dollar. If it goes below 71.40, I see it. I'm going to get stopped out on that one. So yeah, there it is. So not a great day today. So let's have a look at this. As it stands, Aussie dollar, there's the two positions there. I got in at 56.52 and stopped out at 39, so my stops are at 40. Still got this remaining position on the euro. It's nothing too major today, but down anyway. So we'll carry on watching this and see what happens, but we might be getting a reversal, so I'm going to watch out for these. Okay, so just back, and we are getting that reversal that's kicking in. So let's go and look at that dollar yen, because that's the one that's potentially going to reverse some more yet. So let's see if it's oops, hello, come on charts. They've thrown a blank on me. Oh dear, that's not good. Let's press pause and see if I can get this fixed. Okay, just back, one last try then. It's going to be on that, back on that dollar yen. It had that initial flush down, but it looks like I'm going to be trying to get on the long side here of the dollar yen. I think that's where that market wants to go. Thought it was going to be Aussie dollar, but it's not been. Let's get some units in on this dollar yen. So I'll get 2 units in for now, and I might be buying right at the top end of its little range at the moment. So just put the 2 units in. Now I can't get into the charts there at the moment, so I'm going to have to bring up my e-signal charts as my replacement. So bear with me while I do that. Okay, so I've got some charts back now. So I'm just using my e-signal charts. I've had to condense them down onto this. So we're still watching this dollar yen. So I've got in entries around about where we are now at the moment. I think it was 71, 72. So it's just sort of sitting around. So it's been a real choppy one actually across the board. I mean, even cable, which was looking great, I obviously held back away from that because that's done a reversal as well. It had that lovely move up and then it's given it all back. You have to be careful sometimes when they're trying to break up into daily resistance like cable was. There's a lot of daily resistance up there, and so look, the cable's now pulled back. Now you don't know unless this is just a deep pullback and then it's going to go higher again. We don't know, but at the moment it warranted caution. So as it currently stands, there's the markets are a bit all over the place. We look at cable there. We look at the euro, had that big move up. It had been coming down, then it had that shoot up. Now it's come back down again, but it's still settling. We're not getting any follow through too much with these markets. The Aussie dollar had the move up. That was the one because it broke to new highs there, and then it's come back down. But again, not really following through to the downside too much just yet. So I'm just playing a waiting game, see what's going to happen. So I'll press pause. So the interesting thing is that the figures came out worse than expected. So it was the right thing to do is to see the dollar sell off and the euro and cable and the currencies against the dollar improve and accelerate, but they didn't follow through with it. So then they did this reversal, and now we're sort of just sitting here at the moment playing a waiting game to see, well, what is going to happen? Are we going to carry on reversing? The figures were weaker than expected, or are we going to hold? But at the moment, you'd have thought with that reversal that maybe we're going to see some follow through. Just looking for some sort of follow through in these markets. So at the moment, they're all just sort of holding. The dollar yen's just sort of just holding as well. So I'm going to have another look at that one. That's the one that I've got the 2 positions in at the moment. So the dollar yen just backed off a little bit, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just backing off. So or is this it for the afternoon? And there's not really going to be any follow through. Really thought there'd be some follow through here today, no matter what direction these markets were going to run in. So I've got my stop down here in the low 50s. So we'll just see for now. I'll just keep watching this for now. But let's see if I can get that over a little bit so you can see. There we go. So we're just playing a waiting game. The market's unfortunately is just so choppy that I can't add to the position yet. I'm waiting. I'm playing a waiting game to see if I can add to the position. Because actually on the dollar yen, if I take these pivots off, let's get rid of those pivots. We don't need them on there. And if I take this out to an hourly chart, and well, actually a 4-hourly chart, the potential is there for the dollar yen to have quite a good run. So I want to hold on to it, but I want to get more positions in. But I'm just waiting for this smaller time frame just to sort of clear up and get a little bit more confirmation, and then I can then add into it. But it's unfortunately it's just been so choppy that it makes it difficult to put a foot in a bigger position than I've already got in. So I am looking for a bigger run, but we'll just have to see. I'll press pause for now. So if we get a strong close here at the end of this candle, which is coming up in about 20 seconds or so, then I'll start to build the position on strength. So and it starts to clear up a little bit. It's still overall a little bit choppy, but I've still got that much bigger view on this dollar yen, that it could have that much bigger move still to come yet. So just seeing if we can get a strong close there. If we close off that high there, then I'll still leave it for the time being, but we'll just play a waiting game. But still looking to get more positions in, and I might just have to wait a little bit longer. So looks like I'm gonna have to press pause for a second. So I've now managed to get the other charts working. Telecharts are back. They obviously went offline for a bit there, so I had to now I can get my eSignal charts back on my other screens. So carry on watching this for a bit. Still no major follow through as yet. It's taken its time, but you never know. Sometimes they do take their time, and all of a sudden they'll have a move later. Hopefully it's the move in the right direction. The fact that we've come down and then come back up, hopefully we don't just hover around here. My bigger time, we've been talking about this in the trading room all morning, even though I'm not with the traders now. Kim's looking after them this afternoon, and so I say looking after them, you know what I mean. He's in there on the mic this afternoon. So sometimes it can just pause for a while, and then it does then start to build. So I'm looking up up towards 123 zone as the first sort of levels. So if it starts to move, so we'll just play a waiting game here, but I want to get more units in yet, so I'm still waiting. Right, well I've got to go out fairly soon, so I'm going to put another unit in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my stops up to 60 now. I had them down in the low 50s. I'll get those stops up, so I'll just move those stops up so you can see the account in a second, and we'll, and see what happens. I'm still looking for this to see if we're going to get a slow break up this afternoon. And if we do, I think this has got a lot of potential as regards to how far, or at least a decent amount of potential as regards to how far it can go. Talking up into the upper 122s, 122.90s, if it can start to get up there easily, and then we're into the 123s. So if it can go 122 point, right? Okay, so let's bring up the account. So it's become a right mess today with all these trades. I say all these trades. The euros, they're done. That was the euros. That little positive one was from that small, like I showed you earlier on, the one that I'd taken with the guys yesterday. So that got trading stopped out. So anyway, so the euro lost 394. The Aussie had those two little loses on that. This is the other trade that I had from yesterday with the guys in the room. I can't lose on that. I've moved the stop up to 71.20. We're sitting at 71.24, so it's about to get stopped out. But anyway, so I'll still lose on that. So it's not going to be anything too great, but if this dollar yen rolls over, I'm probably going to be down about 600 odd pounds today. So not brilliant, but contained anyway to an extent. Considering the amount of trades I've attempted, it feels fairly contained actually. So anyway, so I'll press pause for now and we'll just see what happens here. Okay, just back, and it's come back down within the bands here. It's in its last chance saloon really, coming down to here. So we just haven't got that direction. It's the same across a lot of the other markets. They've had moves in both ways and then seem to have settled. So it just looks like we're still not going to get that, or may not get that direction. I thought we might get it on this dollar yen and push up some more. It's got some I can see the potential for it to go higher, but it just doesn't seem to want to go at the moment, and it keeps on backing off. I've moved my stop up to 63 now, and I'm going to move it up some more just under the current price if we get anything more of a little bounce, because it's not looking so good now. It's just looking like a chop fest. So I shall press pause. I've got to go out actually. It's 20 past 2 and I'm got to leave in the next 5 minutes. So I've got about 5 minutes to give it, and then I'm going to have to go, and we'll probably have to call this video a wrap if that's the case. I'll press pause for the minute. Okay, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to call this a sort of semi-wrap. I won't actually finish the recording because I can do a wrap when I get back, but I'm not going to be back for a few hours. So be late this afternoon, early evening by the time I make a wrap of this. But as it currently stands, this is where the account's going to be. Minus 394 on that euro. We can minimise that now. It'll be about £100, a bit more than 100 loss on the dollar yen trades, which are very close to my stops, and about £100 loss on the Aussie dollar if the Aussie dollar comes down. That is, the Aussie, that we've still got the position still holding at the moment. So not the best, but not a terrible day. But consider, like I said, considering the amount of trades that I've tried. A few trades there today. So we shall see. My stops are just down here at 65. That could stop me out any second. Looks like it's about to. Is it going to do it just whilst I'm on recording software? Just sitting on it. Not quite, but yeah, I've moved the stops up because the price action has just got way too choppy. It didn't follow through, so I've just moved the stops up. So a bit another unfortunate one there, but can I take what the market's going to give me? And it's not happened here today. So I'll press pause and I'll come back and do a final wrap later. Okay, just back. It's what 4:30 now. I've been out all for the rest of the afternoon, and yes, the dollar yen's creeping its way up. However, look, I see there's been a spike an hour or so ago, and it stopped me out. Look at that on the now, about 61, I think it came down to. I got stopped out at 63. Let's have a look at this. So overall, not a great day. In that, how many trades did I do today? So we had the euro trade this morning. I had 2 euro trades this morning, if you remember. Those 2 euro trades in there. So that's 2. The Aussie dollar trade after the news, that's 3, and then tried the dollar yen. So 4 trades. So in all, it's not like horrible because it's 394, 494. So I call that 510. 610, 650, 660. So 660 down day. So not great, but considering it's 4 trades, I mean I've kept the risk quite low. But just a shame to have got chopped up a bit today. You can look back at it and say, well, that euro dollar trade, the analysis was correct on that. That one was actually okay, but ultimately it's not worked out. So just couldn't get the right direction right at the right time today. So on that note, it's 32 minutes in. I'm not here next week. I'm away in Dublin next Friday, so no live trading next week. I shall leave you to it. Back on Monday though.